just cut the deficit by a little bit by doing that.
Okay, you need to focus on me. Go to George.
After assessing the choice, though, I'm going to bounce off the target and put myself here.
Good so far. No way.
Are you being serious right now? How in the hell does that work? Is this game serious situation? Don't mind it, Barlog. That's a good shot.
Yeah, I got the drill. Thanks for that. Can you even do this shot, Bill?
Well, if it's something you can do,
then what?
I know I can do it then.
I highly doubt that.
It's looking promising so far.
What about the bounce?
Are you serious?
Just like I predicted.
Here we go again.
Bill was scooping it up.
I'm still winning.
This is exactly what I expected from someone who never won a game of golf with his friend.
Moving past that. Nice shot, Ron.
You haven't been relevant since the damn Stone Ages, so why does it matter if you can make it in the hole now?
Okay, it's time for Bang and Joe's redemption.
It looks good so far. Are you sure about that?
Thank God the ball actually stayed on the damn court. Nice one, Bill. I just need to complete the whole next turn.
That's not finished.
And I will still have a comfortable lead for first.
Speaking of first place, I really need to make progress on that.
So that's a good shot, though.
Okay, let's not focus on mediocrity. Let's focus on how I finish the hole first.
So we can pay attention to how I'm about to complete the hole right now.
Did you put enough power in?
I think so.
I don't know about that one.
Well, I do too.
Damn it.
Don't get your hopes up for nothing. And just like Bill, I will also complete the hole.
Okay, but what is the score now? You're going to get your answer.
Is there any surprise?
Is the game finished?
The lead has remained the same for the most part.
Well, I'm in striking distance, Bill. If you mess up in any way, I can grab the first place spot.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Don,
I'm going to win.
but I don't plan on messing up.
Anyway, guys, it's time to hurry up to the big boys and go, Barack.
That's a pretty solid shot, now.
Yeah, I'm thinking I can complete the hole in another turn or two again.
Take the riskier path. For real, you could trim your deficit.
Absolutely.
Wait, but I held this down.
Get ready.
How did I fall down here?
Just keep bouncing up and down, Bill. Bounce up, bounce down. Keep bouncing.
What the hell?
Is the play.
Well, I don't think I can make it back on the
Right.
That's just unfortunate.
And like I said, I will be getting first place.
It's not April Fool.
This is exactly how it starts the process. You better hope the same thing doesn't happen to you, though, George.
Facts.
Well, I'm not irresponsible like a certain someone.
Excuse me?
I am brother George.
Well, if anything, I have a better chance of getting first place than you.
Come on, Donald.
What happened?
It's not blatantly lie, okay? It's not helpful. Well, you missed the reason, George.
That was a good shot.
I will make great progress for this last course. Oh, boy, I'm so scared. Barack made significant progress. What am I going to do?
Keep it going, Donald.
All right, it's King Donald's turn to make something special.
Wait, what the hell?
Take the win, Shelby.
What? That's what I'm talking
How
about.
does that just happen?
That's how King Donald does it.
It's Bill's turn.
I might actually win this game.
Not if I can help.
I'm hyped.
Are you going to fall off there? Excuse me? Okay, calm the hell down with you, Donald.
Why should I?
Go to George and have a say in terms of who comes in first place with that amazing shot.
We literally have no chance of winning this game.
Are you sure about that?
Donald is already ahead of you in this thing.
I don't know how in the hell I didn't get the hole right then and there, but whatever I did.
I need to see Bill's turn.
Good shot's up.
I'll be okay,
I
right?
wouldn't be sure of that.
I have no clue what the score looks like right now. Please, God, let me pull this one out.
I'm curious to see what the score looks like, too.
Are you even going to make this next shot of yours, Bill?
Don't disrespect me like that, dude.
Jesus Christ, the moment of truth, boys. All right, let's see it.
Come on.
Come on.
Hey, let's go! My first ever win is off with your friends. That's how you finish a game off, boys.
For real.
That was hype as hell.
Amazing game, Bill.
Thanks, Donald.
That was a super fun one from start to finish.
Back.
And I got to congratulate you on getting that first win in golf with your friends.
Back.
It's not easy to get a win in this game.
Back. Yeah, I got to congratulate you two on the win, Bill.
Thanks, George.
Even though I was completely out of it, Bill.
It's all good.
I had a fun time watching you three compete.
Yes, sir.
More importantly, though,
What's up?
congrats on your first win in golf with your friends.
Thanks for love.
You'll always remember your first win.
Super facts.
I appreciate hearing you all. I just had a super fun time.
No problem, Bill. But it's time to get down to business.
Yeah, you said you wanted to tell us something after the game was over.
Yeah, that's good, Bill.
I just want you three to know that Joe will join a gaming session of ours soon.
Wait, what?
Are you being serious, Bill? Or are you joking, Bill? You better not be joking, Bill.
Couple of things. No, I am not joking.
Let's go!
But when I say he's going to join one of our gaming sessions, yeah, it's more so to spectate.
What do you mean, spectators? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm confused.
Remember why he left?
Because of multiple reasons, right?
Yeah, sort of.
He felt disrespected. He was tired of the drama or something like that.
Bingo! And the second he left,
Damn your
I
height.
told you three that we all have things that we need to improve on, right?
Well, yeah. But what made him want to spectate us play? I'm still confused on that.
Yes, same here.
Long story short, I kept in touch with Joe this entire time.
What you did?
I told him that we're all working on things that we needed to improve on. It's been a while, to say the least. So I did invite Joe to at least watch us play something so he could see it for himself.
If I'm being honest, though, guys,
What's up, George?
we've been making our improvements, but Joe isn't perfect either.
Well, that doesn't invalidate Joe's feelings to him.
For real.
And just an FYI,
What's up?
Joe told me that he's also
come through again.
That's true.
Let's leave it at
Welcome everyone, my name's Silv, and this is my attempt to beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Pokemon Sun. Finally, the battle mode must be put on set at all times. Working with the poison type is a really intriguing situation in the older gens, and especially Gen 3. While poison type Pokemon hover around the average in terms of base stats, they actually didn't have the added bonus they have now of being super effective against fairy types. So they're only super effective against grass types, most of which back then were also the poison type. And Steel, of course, is immune. Gen 3 does provide a good amount of poison-type Pokemon, though, with all of these on screen available. Our only limitation is that Spinarak is unfortunately only available in areas of the Safari Zone that were retroactively added in Emerald, so we won't be able to get one, leaving us with 9 total possible encounters. Although some are found in the same area as each other, so depending on how things work out with encounters, we could be forced out of using one or more. After asserting dominance against a Machoke who's at least 4 times my size, it's time to head to our room where... Wait a minute. It's that time again. We've got to pick a starter, and then we're going to throw away in a box forever shortly. And this time, our victim is Trico. We quickly end May's hopes and dreams and get 69 experience for winning. Nice. Then she gives us Pokeball. The weird thing is, she actually gave us 5, but it's listed as being singular here. Then she said, if I find any cute Pokemon, I'll catch them with Pokeballs. Somebody please fire this translator. We next have to help Wally catch his first Pokemon, and remember how during our Dark-type Emerald challenge, I made fun of him for having a Psychic type as a signature Pokemon? Well, now I'm certainly not laughing. God help us this time around. Upon reaching Petalburg Woods, we can finally catch our first viable encounter, and it's going to be a Cascoon. Now, technically, Cascoon is a mono bug type, but for this challenge, I think we'll let that slide since it evolves into a poison type in just 5 levels. We catch Cascoon and name it Mothra, come on, the classic, and it ends up having a docile nature which is neutral. Now, the problem here is that our rules think we have to deposit our starter as soon as we can get our first viable encounter, so we have to deposit Trico now. Thanks for the memories, I guess. This raises a massive problem, though, because our Cascoon only knows Harden. You know what time it is. We find Wild Ralts on Route 102, which only know Growl at this level. That way we can waste all of our power points so we can get Struggle, our only way of damaging things. From here, I train Cascoon up almost exclusively against Ralts and Zigzagoon for special attack and speedy needs. In Gen 3, both Dustox's poison and bug typings are physical in terms of attacks, but you'll see why I'm doing this in a bit. Now, the problem with this strategy is that you can't use the Pokemon Centers without also restoring power points, so we're stuck with potions. Eventually, I'm forced to battle more trainers for money, and I forgot that this trainer also has its Halo, so Mothra got brought down to just 1 singular HP before we won. Whew. After over an hour of this hell, Cascoon finally gets to level 10 and evolves into a beautiful Dustox, who learns Confusion upon evolution. Thank God we finally have a way to damage opponents. However, to progress past Petalburg Woods, we have to defeat the team Aqua Grunt, who has a Pushina, and yup, none of our moves effective. Now, we could try and get down to Struggle by using Harden on Ralts and Confusion on Wild Pushina, but we're out of money, and Pushina hurts us unlike Ralts, so we won't be able to make it. Instead, we're forced to level up to level 13, where Dustox learns Gust. This makes the Grunt quite easy work, but we do have to be careful about leveling past the cap of 15 now. With that, we arrive in Rustboro City, the location of our first gym battle, and one that I am absolutely petrified of. Why, you might ask? Well, might as well break the news now. What you're watching now is my 3rd attempt at this challenge. I've already performed 2 wipes, which means resetting the entire game from the start since we lost. Thankfully, the first trainer in the gym doesn't have any rock moves on his Geodude, so we can manage them quite well with Confusion. On our previous 2 runs, I was a bit over-leveled, so I couldn't take on the second one, but here I figured it was the same situation, but he ends up having a level 11 Geodude with Rock Throw. Thankfully, we can take him out on the 3rd attack with just 8 HP remaining. That was close. After attaching an Aura Berry to Mothra, it's time. Roxanne, the Rock-type gym leader, for our 3rd attempt. Now, 2 things I've learned since facing her. Dustox is trash. Its special attack is 50, while Beautiflies is 90. Although, I guess I can't really complain there, as Dustox is only normally weak to Rock, whereas Beautifly is 4 times weak to it. Secondly, Dustox has the Shield Dust ability, so that when we get hit by Rock Tube, it means our speed can't be lowered, which is fantastic. Otherwise, we'd be doomed right off the bat. Now, on previous attempts, I tried loading up on Harden, but since attack is so high, it's hard to set them off. So here, I just went for confusion to hope that we confuse her, and damn, critical hit on our first try, and she misses Rock Tomb. If there's one saving grace we have here, it's that both Rock Tomb and Rock Throw have bad accuracy. She goes for a potion right away though, and knowing she potioned, I went for Harden here. I then go for confusion, which does about a third, and then she misses another Rock Tomb. Oh man, this is the attempt. Another confusion brings her to the red, but she hits a Rock Tomb to bring us about half. Knowing she'll potion again, I go for Harden, and I'm happy since we wasted both of her potions now. We get another crit on our next confusion, but it didn't matter as it survived on a sliver and hit us with Rock Tomb, but our Orange Berry activates to bring us above half, after which we can KO it. One down. In comes the nose pass, and this is why we wanted her to waste her potions, as its special defense is much higher. After one miss, she eventually brings us to just 5 HP. I hit a confusion, she misses again. Another confusion brings her to the red, but she hits her next one to take us down and end attempt number 3. This is absolutely insane. We were so lucky in that battle. Flash forward to attempt number 7. I am doing every single thing I can to make this work, to the point where I think a sheet of calculation. We're technically only forced to battle 78 defense EVs and 46 special attack EVs, but I put PHP EVs instead of defense as well for good measure. This is the absolute best effort that I can give. If you guys are wondering why there was no video the week before our fire challenge release, this is why. 7 attempts of this is stupidly crazy, especially with the struggle strat. This Dustox ended up having a bashful nature, which is also neutral. Not the best, but not terrible, as there aren't any stats that we really want to take away anyway. This time, I decided to load up on Hardest right away, as I noticed that's the best chance we have. Geodude hits us with Rock Tomb on the first one, but then goes for Defense Curl on the next, and the third one hits us with another Rock Tomb to the path, and then our Orange Berry activates. We then use Confusion for our third, then it goes for Defense Curl again. I could not get her to do that at all in past attempts, so maybe it has something to do with our stats now. Confusion brings her to a quarter, and then she goes for Defense Curl again, and Roxanne uses a potion. Confusion hits below half, then we get to move again, bringing her to the red, then Rock Tomb brings us to 22 HP as she uses a potion, and from this range, 2 more consecutive confusions do the job. Now I've noticed that her nose pass almost always uses Harden on the first turn or two, so I do the same, and it does go for the repeat. Since we've loaded up so many, I go for another for the hell of it, as she hits us with Rock Tomb. Confusion then does like nothing, and she uses Harden again. Eventually, she misses a Rock Tomb. Confusion brings her below half. She misses again. Confusion brings her to a quarter, and she misses again. And Confusion brings her to just a sliver. After which Rock Tomb brings us to 12 HP, but we can take it out with another. Oh my god. Honestly, we did need 1 miss, but 3? I mean, I'll take it. For the sake of a potential crit, I guess. Since there were so many turns in that battle, there were a lot of factors to consider, such as possible confusion, which we never got, crits, low accuracy misses. I just can't believe it. Finally, first badge acquired. Get me the hell out of this city, please. On our way back through Heidelberg Woods, we can use Cut to get the Miracle Seed, which will definitely come in handy later on. With our weird-ass Dustox EVs, we arrive in Dupertown, where we can pick up the Silk Scarf from one of the houses, and also the Old Rod from a fisherman, too. We can actually get 2 encounters here, since there are 2 distinct areas. The first is Grand Cave, and we can find a Zubat in here. We catch one and name it X-Wing. The name will make more sense once it evolves. And it has a lax nature, plus defense, and minus special defense, which is meh. After talking to Steven and getting the Steel Wing TM from him, we can also use the Old Rod we just got to fish in Duper for our next encounter, a Tentacool. This one we catch and nicknamed Crockett, and it ends up having a Jolly nature, plus speed and minus special attack. Because of the damage categories in Gen 3, all water moves are special, and all poison moves are physical, so this is great for poison moves, but terrible for our water moves, which is the secondary type that we use the most. I mean, we'll have enough poison types on our team, I imagine. Oh well, it's something. After training our new encounters up a bit, it's time for the Duper gym. The trainers are managed quite well by Crockett with Supersonic and Poison Sting, and we have Monster for backup with Confusion, and Gus handles meta types really well, which are a big threat due to their psychic type.
Another scorcher. Perfect weather. A real hero fights.
Now, Gym Leader Brawley is, well, let's just say a well-deserved break. We have 2 4-times resistances to fighting on our team and 1 regular resistance. Our entire team resists fighting, in other words. Zubat doesn't have any flying moves yet, though, so he's a spectator to Mothra's complete slaughter of this man and his team. After returning Steven's letter to his dad, we get the experience share, which is always a great item for hardcore Nuzlocke. We arrive at Slateport City and encounter this man who says, "The sea has been made by tears shed by Pokemon?" IGN got it all wrong, I guess. 7.8, too many tears. Actually, that applies to their computer too. In the Pokemon Fan Club at Slateport, we can get the Soothe Bell, which is actually a great item to help with Zubat, since it will eventually evolve by oppression. The next route, Route 110, offers us a new encounter, but this is where things get tricky. We can only catch our first poison-type encounter, but there are both Oddish and Gulpin here. Thankfully, ours is Gulpin, as this is the only place in the game where it can be found, but Oddish can be found later on. That could have been rough. We catch it and nickname her Consumer, and she ends up having a relaxed nature, plus defense and minus speed, which, since it has terrible speed anyway, I'm actually satisfied with. Along this route, we encounter our rival May, and I went into this battle feeling pretty confident since we have nothing to help with her combustion. Whalmer is walled pretty well with the supersonic and acid combination, especially since hitting herself in confusion stops the rollout. Shroomish comes out next, and I thought it would be an easy 2-hit KO with acid, but it ends up hitting us with stun spore after the first. We can't move on the next, and she hits us with leech seed. Then we don't KO or poison with the second. After getting dropped to 22 HP, we can finally take it down, and when Combustion switches in, leech seed brings us to just 16. I make a risky play to switch it to Mothra here, but she just went for Peck, and with our high defense, it doesn't do a whole lot despite being super effective, and we can KO her at 3 confusions after she used Focus Energy on the second turn, and then Ember brings us down to just 13 HP. Blows one. Once we get the Moth fight for fun, I went down the cycling road, which is touched by the game, and I had salami all over my fingers since I was eating lunch, so my run was an absolute disaster. Like, just embarrassing. The guy at the end says, "I would consider you a work in progress." You know what, Mother? A man's gotta eat. Lance Armstrong called me Daddy. Following that, Zubat ends up evolving into a Golbat at level 22 and learns Wind Attack as well. I decided to take on the Windspray family, which is a dangerous thing to do in hardcore Nuzlocke since you can't heal between battles, but we make it through and get the Poncho Brace for winning, which basically doubles the TVs we get on the Pokemon that holds it. Now, as it stands, our team is an absolute disaster for Watson's team. All of our moves, every single one, is Magnemite and Magneton resist or are immune to. I spent literally like half an hour theory crafting as to how we could possibly win this, never mind avoid deaths, and there was just no way. Then, surprise, surprise, I realized I was an idiot and that our next encounter was actually available to us on Route 117 to the west, on Roselia. We catch one and nickname it Petal, and it ends up having a modest nature plus special attack and minus attack. Perfect for its grass typing, but not so great for poison, but overall, I'll take it. With a better strategy in hand, it's time for Watson. And I put a Cherry Berry on every single one of our Pokemon since Watson's main gimmick is paralyzing like crazy. He leads with a Magnemite and I lead with Petal. I go for Stun Spore, and right off the bat, it misses. Safe. He then paralyzes us with Thunder Wave, but our Cherry Berry activates. On the next turn, our Stun Spore hits and paralyzes him instead, which we resist, and eventually can take him down with Mega Drain. It comes full orb, and we have to be very careful with this thing since it knows self-destruct. But thankfully, since we can take him out in one hit, we don't give him the opportunity since I don't think he ever uses it for full health. In comes the big boy Magneton, and he hits us with Shockwave right away for 13 HP. Then we stay paralyzed. He then misses his Supersonic, and we land a Stun Spore, after which we get hit hard by Sonic Boom to about half, but we land the Leaf Seed for some recovery. We stay paralyzed, and then he hits the Supersonic to confuse us. This is messy. Thankfully, we break through confusion and paralysis stated with Mega Drain on the next turn, which doesn't do much, and he misses a Sonic Boom, but then we hit ourselves in confusion. Watson eventually uses a Super Potion, but we snap out of confusion to start overpowering him to the point where we can take him down. Had he gone for Sonic Boom every single turn and never missed a Supersonic, we would have likely lost, but Pepper pulled through big time, and that strat worked out well. I'm going to say right now, without Roselia, I think this battle would have been impossible in this challenge. 3 badges down. Our next encounter comes in the form of the Fiery Path, where both Grimer and Coughing are available. In Sapphire, though, Grimer is a 25% chance, while Coughing is a 2% chance, while the odds are flipped in Ruby. I'm a bigger fan of wheezing than muck, but you'll see why we chose Sapphire in a little bit. As the odds would dictate, our encounter is indeed a climber, and we catch it and nickname it Java. Java has a gentle nature, plus special defense and minus defense, which is not as bad as it could be, I suppose. Since both Grimer and coughing are only found here, that is going to officially cut off our coughing chances. We find a much-needed rest stop, and the old lady keeps shoving my head back down on the pillow and won't stop saying that we need more rest. This is one of these situations where we just be here forever, eternally, sleeping on the floor if we listen to her. Let's get out of here. At level 25, Crockett finally learns a water move, Bubble Beam, which gives us some great much-needed coverage. On this route, we can also find our next encounter, and the reason why we chose Sapphire over Ruby, Survivor, which is exclusive to this game, while Ruby gets Zangoose instead. We catch it and name it Nagini, and it ends up having a timid nature, plus speed and minus attack. Absolutely brutal. On the summit of Mount Mortar, we encounter Maxie, who's being accosted by 3 Team Aqua Grunts. How in the world is his Fuchina holding up here? I love how they tried to illustrate that this is a viable battle by having Maxie's Fuchina rapidly shake up and down quicker than the others. He is a faster boy, he wins. Here we have to battle against Team Aqua leader Archie, which actually looks kind of scary on the face of it. He leads with Mighty Ina, so I lead with Crockett, so our clear body ability cancels out his Intimidate. Bubble Beam does a bit more than his bite, and we outspeed, so we don't have to worry about flinching. However, he gets a crit and brings us to just 8 HP, after which he uses a super potion so we can't KO him. I forced to switch it to X-Wing here, and he brought us below half before we KO'd him. He decides to bring out his own Golbat here so they can open mouth each other. God, that sounds terrible. And we thankfully get a crit on his Golbat, and after a super potion, I thought we could 2-hit KO him, but our second wing attack just barely doesn't KO, and I'm like, no! But we survive on a singular HP stat. Holy. Thankfully, we do have speed and can take him down, though. In comes Sharpedo, and we are not in a good position here. I switch in Consumer, but Crunch does way too much. Whoops. I then send in Mothra, who's got great defense, but he crits us right on the switch. With 2 choices left, I put Java out there, and Crunch brings him down to the red. Our final choice is Petal, whose defense is quite low, but we actually survive with over half, and it looks like we might be able to survive a second, and we do on exactly 1 HP and can take him down. Holy. That was way too close. From here, we arrive at Lava Ridge Town, and while grinding for our next gym battle, Consumer evolves into a beautiful Swallow, which should be a great defensive presence now. Thanks to the Soothe Bell, we also have Golbat evolve into Crobat, and it learns Confuse Ray, which is 100% accuracy instead of Supersonic's 55%. And now his name makes sense too. Here, I decided to teach the Thief TF from the Slateport Museum to Grimer so that we can start using it to get great items like the Poison Barb, which increases the power of poison moves. There's a 5% chance to get one from using Thief on Wild Roselia, so this takes a long time, but eventually we do find a couple, but 2 is all I have the patience for right now. With that, it's time for the 4th gym leader, the Fire-type trainer, Flannery. Now, although Tentacool seems like an easy dub here, we have to keep in mind she does have Sunny Day, which weakens water moves if it's activated. She sends out Slugma, and I send out Crockett, and Bubble Beam just barely leaves Slugma with a sliver, and yup, she goes for Sunny Day. Are you kidding me? Now I need to stall Sunny Day out before she sends in Torkoal, but I know she'll heal up, so I go for Bubble Beam again, and it does less than half now in the sun. Our next one gets a crit though, which is actually a bad thing for us. She sends in another Slugma, and Bubble Beam gets a crit again. Oh man, why? In comes the Torkoal in the sun. Not good. I go for Supersonic, and thankfully it lands and confuses it, and it hits itself with confusion. Bubble Beam does very little though, and then it hits us with Body Slam, which does about 2/3, but our Orange Berry doesn't do enough. We get KO'd by another. I send in Consumer here, who's our best defensive presence, and Torkoal hurts itself on the switch. I go for Yawn right away to put it to sleep on the next turn. Torkoal snaps out of confusion, but just goes for Flail, which does very little. Sludge then brings Torkoal low, but poisons it. Why? Now it won't go to sleep, and Flannery uses a Hyper Potion. From here, it is a long stall war, but Torkoal paralyzes us in the midst of it, causing it to outspeed us, and we have to switch. X-Wing is our best option here, and Body Slam does little, and we can take it out with a wing attack. More trouble than that probably should have been, but we got the badge. While grinding for the next gym, Tentacool ends up evolving into a Tentacruel. Damn, if only you had done this before the Fire Gym. Now, Norman's battle is always a scary one, and we certainly don't have any direct counters to his team. Our team is kind of predicated on lots of status to begin with, but that will double the power of his team's stat facade move, so it's not a good idea. But I have a bit of a plan. Let's give it a go. He leads with a slacking, and I lead with a newly evolved Crockett. My plan is to try and take advantage of confusion in this battle, the only sort of status kind of thing that we have that won't increase their facade power. We hit Supersonic on our first try, but he breaks through and hits us with facade for just about half. I go for Bubble Beam and it does very little, but Slacking's Truant ability allows us to get another off. He then goes for Yawn though, so I'm forced to switch into Crobat. Wing Attack brings him to about a quarter, but he breaks through confusion and hits it with Facade to about half again, then Norman heals it with the Hyper Potion. We keep chipping him down, and eventually he snaps out of confusion and uses Yawn on us. I decide to switch back into Crockett on the Truant turn, hit him with Bubble Beam, and then he uses Yawn yet again. Because of Truant, we're actually able to pivot effectively around those and can take him out with X-Wing. In comes Vigoroth, and since it doesn't have Truant, it is a scary one, but now that we have X-Wing out, I hit him with 100% accuracy Confuse Ray. He hits himself in confusion, then Wing Attack brings him below half, he hits himself in confusion again, Wing Attack just barely doesn't KO, but he hits himself again. Slash with a high critical hit ratio could have been dangerous, but I think we were pretty safe other than the crit, but still good confusion luck back there. In comes his final slacking, and Confuse Ray hits, but he breaks through and hits us with Facade, but we live on just 9 HP. I switch in Consumer here, and Slacking breaks through again to hit us for about half, but I hit him with Yawn now since Sleep won't activate Facade's power since he'll be asleep, of course. I end up trying to spam Rock Smash here, and although it didn't do much damage, it does have a chance to lower his defense, which I feel is going to be necessary. After a few, he wakes up and snaps out of confusion on the same turn, hits us with Facade, and we live on just 5 HP. Damn, that was close. On his true turn, I go for Yawn though, and then switch into Mothra, who gets hit below half with Facade, and our Oranberry is not enough to save us from another. But we do have Moonlight to heal us. I then go for Harden and start hitting him with Psybeam afterwards. Our third Psybeam confuses him, and that combined with Truant and Moonlighting, we can kind of stall him out over time since we can always heal on his Truant turns. With that, we've defeated Norman and obtained our 5th gym badge, but not without some scares. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good at realizing we can very well go for our first Nagini, our survivor on the team, temporarily with the experience share to level it up. On Route 123, we use the Berry Master's farm to plant a ton of citrus and orange berries. Would highly recommend doing this if you're doing a Gen 3 Nuzlocke on your own. On Route 119, we can get our final encounter, an Oddish, which we catch and nickname Flytrap, and it has a bashful nature, which is neutral. I'm going to keep Flytrap in the PC for now as backup, as we have a flying gym up next, so it won't be very helpful there. Our next battle with May after the Weather Institute goes smoothly as the rain boosts Crockett's Surf and makes him super powerful. Now, right after reaching Fortree City, I went to Route 120 to get our last couple of levels and ran into a trainer who absolutely slaughtered our entire team with a Milotic of all things, in the rain too. Water Pulse with Recover devastated our entire team, especially with Confusion. Then, on my way to heal, I accidentally ran into another trainer, and he had a series of coughings. I tried to push through with our only living Pokemon, Java, but one of the coughings used self-destruct and obliterates him. I was really upset about this one. Buck is a fantastic Pokemon, and we were getting close to that evolution. First death on the board. Why does a random no-name trainer have a Milotic equal name? Alright, she has a name. It's Jennifer, aka... The Fortree Gym looks like a tough one on the face of it, especially with the Steel-type Skarmory and a Dragon Dancing Altaria with super effective Birth Plague on 5 out of 6 of our Pokemon. However, I have a plan. I go all the way back to the abandoned ship to the west of Slateport to get the Ice Beam TM, which I used to Crockett. Winona leads with a Swallow, and I lead with Crockett. Despite her Swallow's attempts to double team like crazy, we take it down in a few Ice Beams after she used the Hyper Potion. Her Altaria comes out next and is 4 times weak to Ice Beam, but we still don't KO it. It then goes for Dragon Dance, and I'm like, uh-oh, Earthquake could very well be a KO from here. So I switch to Crobat, who's immune to it, and that lets us outspeed to take her down even after the Dragon Dance. However, it's then handled by a combination of Confuse Ray and Consumer's tankiness, even though we got dropped to 32 HP after she crit us. Skarmory is a big threat, but thankfully Pocket still had enough health to be switched in and take it down with 2 serves. Very glad we got that Ice Beam TM. In Early Cup City, you listen to these parents lament about their degenerate gamer kids, and then I remembered we forgot to take the mystic water item from the gift cast form in the Weather Institute, so I gave that to Pocket to boost his water bills. Mothra also finally learns a stab move in the form of Silverwind. Goodness gracious, that took a while. A new record, I think. After a ton of grinding, it's time for the Monster City Gym, a psychic type gym. On the face of it, this gym is terrifying for us, but Monster is able to do a good job against the trainers despite his weakness to psychics, since he has pretty good special defense. With that, it's time for the gym leaders, Kate and Liza. Now, initially, I was quite scared about this battle, but came up with a strategy I thought would work well. The major problem we face, besides their super effectiveness, is that Pollock has sunny day. But if we use the two fast Pokemon, Hawken and Nagini, I figured we could just focus fire and take it out before it has the chance to do so, and it works quite well with Surf and Nagini's Black Blast and Boosted Crunch. Lunatone then uses Light Screen, but the damage is done, and we take it down with another Surf and Crunch combo. These two could have blasted us into oblivion with Psychic, but I think we handled them quite effectively. On the way to confront Archie and Kyle during the Seafloor Tavern, we pick up the Earthquake TM, which should be quite useful as the fighter can learn it for great type coverage, especially against steel types who otherwise kind of wall us. Archie's battle is up next, and this time I'm determined to do it properly, so I use the Rosaria against Mightyena, so intimidation isn't a factor. I paralyzed him with stun 4 right off the bat, and he stays paralyzed. I'm then able to use Rose to raise our special attack power, and he stays paralyzed again, after which Giga Drain just barely doesn't take him out. Knowing Crobat will be coming out next, I take the opportunity to switch to S-Whip while he heals, and I go for Fly, and then finds to take it down. He sends out his own Crobat, and on us right away, and it apparently outspeeds us, but after a long and drawn-out Crobat versus Crobat battle, we get ourselves in confusion to the red and have to switch. So I go into the E, who barely able to take him down with 22 HP left. He sends out Sharpedo next, and hoping he goes for either Streak, Swagger, or Taunt. I switch to Rosalia, but he uses Splash, which actually would have killed if it was a crit. Yikes. Our poison point ability does poison him though, and I switch into Mothra, and Splash does very little. He then goes for Slash again, and gets a crit this time, but Mothra tanks it with 14 HP, and we use super effective Silver Wing to take it down. We make it to Sutopolis City afterwards, and they don't know how to get their kids. This Sutopolis gym is always a threatening one, but this time we have a secret weapon, Kettle. Wallace's Love Disc only has moves like Flail, Attract, Lovely Kiss, and Waterfall, so I think it is the perfect thing to set up against if we can. He misses his Lovely Kiss right off the bat, and I hit the stun 4, after which I can start charging up growth. He did hit us with Attract and Confuse us. He can spend his turn, but the most damage he can do is either Confusion or Waterfall, so it's nothing more than a nuisance, really. Once we're ready, I use Giga Drain to take it out, and we snap out of Confusion when his Celio comes in eventually, so we can take it down as well. His Milotic outspeeds and hits the power of the super effective Ice Beam, but thankfully Rosalia's special defense is good enough that we survive on 25 HP and can one-shot it. The same goes for his Whiscash, as, well, it's 4 times effective, and on his Seaking, I realized we have no more Giga Drain power points, so I use Stun 4, then Leaf Speed, and then switch to Crockett, and what he has, and take advantage of the readiness setup to go for extra power Surf and take him down. Edel has been amazing so far. All 8 batches acquired. After making it through Victory Road, we battle Wally, and I attach the Never Melt Ice on Tentacle to power up Ice Beam further, which makes Altaria an easy task. Gardevoir ended up just spamming Double Team and Calm Mind, so we can take it out with a few serves, and finally we have a way to deal with Magneton too, thanks to the Eevee's 4 times effective Earthquake, who also takes out Delcatty, and Dustox is the perfect counter for his Rosalia with resistances to all his moves, and Psybeam too. Before the Elite Four, I felt we were missing something, and it took me a little while to remember, but we never ended up picking up Sludge Bomb, partially because it's such an obscure TM to get. Some random guy appears in the building with all the weird people in Duper Town only after you get the 5th badge. Interesting. After some crazy preparations with TMs, I go fulfilling the rest of our EVs, grinding up to level 54, since the level cap is level 55, it's time for the Pokemon. The first Elite Four member is Sidney, the Dark type trainer. He needs to fight Luna and I go with Monster. He does lower our attack with today, but I want to get Life String up. Dark is a special type in this team. He gets us with Takedown though, and then I switch to Crockett so that he can't sand attack us due to his clear body, which works perfectly, and then we take it down in a couple of turns after he heals up. Tier 3 comes in next to actually the Mothra, who takes a takedown critical hit. Tier 3 goes for double team, and I get another Life String up. Then he just double teams again, and our 4 times effective Silver Wing connects to take him down. Absolutely smash, and it's time to stack his soul with a couple of Silver Wings. After it comes in, and unfortunately we've run out of Silver Wing power points here. Then our Toxic misses, he hits us with a big attack, but we land one on the next turn. I switch into Consumer here and use Amnesia to raise our special defense, and then we get Leech Seeded, which is funny since we have the Liquid Blues ability, so it hurts him in addition to the Toxic, and Sludge Bomb finishes him off. His final Pokemon is Sharpedo, and Slash gets a crit rate of 50 HP, but would get a crit with Sludge Bomb. Nice. Next up is Phoebe, the Ghost type Elite Four member, and one who is quite scary with her bulky ghost, which all resist poison. She leads with Dusclops, and I go for X-Link, who I taught the Shadow Ball TM2 since it's physical in this team, and is able to take her down after 3 hits since she healed up and just used Future Sight. Sableye comes out next, and we take the Future Sight attack and then use Confuse Ray on him. She broke through and used to track on us though, which is never fun. Because of that, I switched right away into Mothra, but Sableye gets a super effective psychic through confusion on Switch. Thankfully, we get Toxic off though, and Sableye then snaps out of confusion to hit his heart with Psychic again, but our Citrus Berry helps us. From there, I can then stall out the Sableye with Toxic, Silverwind, and Moonlight Recovery, and at one point she even quit us to 11 HP, and right before Sableye goes down, I decide to switch to Consumer to prepare for her next Pokemon, and on the switch she hit her with Psychic and got the special defense drop, which is not good. Now I expected her to send out Fast Box here, but she actually sent out Banette, so I switched in Crockett instead, and Banette hits us with Psychic. Surface then a 2 hit KO from there, and we're brought to a third. In comes Dusclops, and I switch to X-Wing here, thinking she'll go for super effective Earthquake against Tentacruel, and the prediction goes off as planned. I then hit it with Confused Ray, and it hits itself, after which our Shadow Ball hits it for good damage. It hits itself again, and then its Citrus Berry activates, after which another KOs it. Her final Banette then survives Shadow Ball on a sliver, but just goes for Spite, which gets rid of the rest of our Shadow Ball power points, so I have to go for Poison Fang, but she full restored it. Thankfully, Fly is able to do the job with 2 hits from there, even through the Will-O-Wisp Burn. Next up is Glacia, the Ice-type trainer. Roselia is a good option for a lot of her Pokemon, but the Ice-typing is scary, and her Glalie kind of put a dent in that plan. She leads with a Glalie, and I go for Consumer. I use Amnesia right away since Ice is special, and she starts out the Hail. Ice Beam then does little to us, and Spudball actually gets a crit and takes her out to Tedium. Not like she was doing much to us anyway, but still helpful. Celio comes out next, and now I can initiate my plan. I use Yawn, and then she hits us with Body Slam, and gets the Paralysis, further confirming what I plan to do. I stand and go for Sludge Bomb so that the Sleep activates, and then switch into Petal as the Hail stops. Now I can charge up with Growths, but her Celio wakes up on the first turn. Not good. Drain KOs her though, and I thought she'd send in her second Glalie next, but she actually sent in another Celio. Interesting. Perhaps hope isn't lost after all, as we can KO it instantly. Then she switches in Ball Ray as well. What in the world? Drain also KOs it immediately. Wow. Finally, her second Glalie comes out, and to be safe, I switch it to Crockett. Glalie eventually gets a crit on us with Shadow Ball though, down to just 26 HP, and then the Hail hits us to 16, and I thought we could just take her out, but she used the full restore, and I was like, oh no, the Hail will take us out if we're just under 10% health, but thankfully the Hail stopped just in time, and we KO her with another. That was way too close, especially if we really beat Crockett. The final Elite Four member is Drake, the Dragon-type trainer. I'm sure you guys can guess my plan here. It really helps that Tentacruel is a surprisingly fast Pokemon with 100 hit speed. Even if his Sheldon survives the Ice Beam and goes for Rock Tomb, it won't lower our speed due to Clear Body, so this is a great plan. Sheldon does indeed survive the Ice Beam on a sliver, then goes for Dragon Claw, then after his full restore we can take him down. From here, every single one of his Pokemon is 4 times weak to Ice, so both of his Flygons go down for 1 attack. Then his Altaria barely survives, but misses the takedown and takes himself out with 3 more. Salamence is his final Pokemon, and we do indeed have speed, and get a crit to take him down. Damn, that works. It's time for the gym. Now, since his speed is incredibly bulky, and it's a bit hard to formulate a strategy against it. It means with Starmie, and our only way to deal with that is Crockett is going forth to send him out first. Surf does about half, he uses Aerial Aids, and then our second takes him down. Playdol comes in next, which is nerve-wracking with Earthquake, but I don't want to switch and have it use Light 3 on Reflect. So I stay in and hit it with super effective stab, Mystic Water boosted Surf, but it survives and misses super hard with Earthquake due to 30 HP, but then we can take it down after he full restores. At least no streams went up, I guess. In comes Aggron next, and it's also into water and has way lower special defense, so I know this is an easy KO with Surf. Next up is Metagross, and this is where the threat gets real. Knowing Earthquake is his best move against us, I switch it to Crobat to predict it, but he went for Psychic, and we survive on 1 HP. What in the world? Why? That ruins my plan entirely, but holy, how did we survive that? With no other option, I go for Shadow Ball, and it does very little. Here, I forgot that before X and Y, Steel actually resists Ghost, so it's neutral on Metagross, which is weird because I've been using super effective Ghost moves on Metagross for like a decade now. The main thing is that the poor prediction with Earthquake and Crobat has now turned everything upside down. How do we deal with the Metagross now with what we have? With Crobat now dead, I sent in the key. We do have speed and hit it with the Soft Sand boosted Earthquake, then hits us with this old Earthquake and wipes Nikiti off the map. So long, Sweet Prince. Here, I send him talking, hoping to take him down with the surf, but his citrus berry activates on the switch, and we barely don't take him down. Oh, this is not good. Monster is sent up next, and Stephen now full restores the damn thing. Silverwing does nothing at all, and I have no other moves against it. It hits us with psychic for massive damage. Silverwing hits, but it doesn't give us the boost, and then our starter gets smacked. Consumer is sent out next and survives psychic, then I hit him with a yawn, after which he KOs us with Earthquake. Kettle is our last hope as Metagross falls asleep. I go for growth here 3 times in a row, then Giga Drain brings it to about a third, but then Meteor Mash pulverizes Kettle. That's it. Metagross absolutely destroyed us, and to be honest, perhaps we should have expected that. I still have no idea why he used Psychic instead of Earthquake on Technical, otherwise our prediction would have helped a lot, although Shadow Ball and Neutral did hurt too, but we could have gotten off Confuse Ray or something. Perhaps Confuse Ray might have helped, but we got out of action for sure. We made it all the way to the champion though, and I had a ton of fun with these poison types, so I will take this loss with my chin up. I was really surprised with how diverse poison types can actually be. I was quite impressed, and although we have some tough battles, they're better than I thought they would be. If you enjoyed the run, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, as it really does help a lot and grows our community. A huge thanks to my YouTube members and patrons who make these videos possible. If you'd like to support, get your name up here. The links are also down below. If you enjoy, drop a like down below to help the video out, and leave a comment letting me know what kind of run we should do next. And I'll see you guys for our next challenge video.
Alright boys, you ready to play another game of life? I definitely need a win. I've been close many times, but that's not going to cut it. Let's get it going, boys. Well done, Jordan.
Okay, fine. As for me, I haven't won in a while, so I definitely need to get back to my winning ways.
Sounds good. You guys cool if I start it up? Like hell I am. Just start it up, Joe.
We're good to go. Let's do this.
Alright, I gotta say, I'm going to see that. Like always, I am the pink color. The Rock is the blue color. Donald is the yellow, orange, and player 4 is the red color. Seriously, player 4? I literally go to George to step. Start it up, Joe. I need to win desperately.
Man, the new game, the new map. It's nice to have this variety.
Stop it, Lord. I definitely that's how I player 4. I am goaded, George. Respect me, damn it.
Alright, let's see who goes first.
Are you serious about this morning? What do I have to do for you guys to stop ignoring me? Is that player 4? Yellow player 4? Thompson? Nah, I don't think so.
Here we go again.
I whooped you guys in that last game of this. Gone through the test of the game of life. Let's do this.
Barack, are we just going to keep ignoring player 4?
We don't have to. After all, I'm going to lose it so bad we don't really matter no longer responsible. That's my strategy. Well, that's a good strategy. But it is true. Last time I was on this time. It won't matter if you go to George or not.
I hope you get that $120,000 paying job, Barack.
Damn it. It's okay, Barack. You got this. What did I tell you, loser?
Is that player 4 talking again?
Let's go. Good one. Let's start off with the $50,000 bonus. It won't matter. We're at 5.
Let's see where this goes to.
Whoa. It's a really good thing. Okay, get ready for Barack. Let's just run over this and I'll be running this way.
Come on, Barack. You can still land on something good here.
Thank God, I got $100,000 bonus from the bank, so that's always a good thing.
Although you didn't land on an action space, you definitely got a lot of money throughout your turn. Let's see what I can do.
Good luck to you, John. You guys do realize that Brody George is still in the game, right? Is that player 4 talking yet? Yeah, it is. It's Donald's playing. Let's focus on that. Donald got to load out the pathetic. Let's see what you get with this action space. It'll be trash.
Hopefully it's something good. And of course, there is no other option other than watching the game stream. I'll gladly take it, though.
Not a bad turn, Donald. You were able to get an after before final. Nobody cares. Let's go to George's turn. Let's see what you can do here, player 4. You're trying to get under my skin, but it won't work.
That sounds like it's already worked.
Yeah, thank you for $50,000 player 4. Stop calling me player 4. I swear to God. I thought you just said that it wouldn't get under your skin.
Fact.
What's going on, player 4? How about you watch my greatness? Greatness? Really? I'm about to get myself a nice and juicy $120,000 paying job.
Let's talk to action player 4.
I literally won last game. So what? What do you mean let's talk to more action? Alright, well, let's see what you got, boy. Alright, set the hell up for rock. I told you guys that David George is not settled for anything less than a David thing. Alright, solid start. How was that? Well, I guess I'll be back for that by taking an hour. This way now, I'm getting a pay raise.
Okay, this turn here wasn't bad player 4. But it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish back.
Donald.
What is it, player 4?
You guys won this game,
So what?
And you only want it because Joe's done it easier to do the game. Stop acting like you're good or something.
Don't worry about player 4 Donald. Time to talk to Joe.
Good luck, Joe. Let's see how this benefit goes. Can I tell you guys how it's going to go?
Hell no. Player 4. Nobody wants to hear it. Okay, so I guess I'll be landing on an action team before college.
Don't get too excited. It won't be anything good.
I guess we'll see about that.
Whoa,
I'm serious right now.
You know what?
I'm going to the bowling green and I'm going to take player 4 to me.
Wait, what? Are you serious right now? Come on, Joe. You got this.
Good luck, Joe.
I guess your daddy gets cheering more than mine. Of course, you get a horrible number watching good boys.
It's still a decent number, though.
Facts. And of course, this
So, right on player 4.
and that is exactly why you should get too ahead of yourself. I used to be the top of the game. It's not too late, man. I haven't won a game yet.
It doesn't matter.
That's why you haven't won a game yet. Well, today is the opportunity to do it again. Let's see what I can do.
That's a good mindset to have to run.
Right.